PKF topics and the Grind It Up podcast. And if you can hit that like, share, subscribe, you can comment, join the conversation, or criticize and join us. We are now live up with a brother Jack.
Hey, salute, man. Halito, man.
Oh,
Peace,
sir.
dog. It's your boy Shaq Rollins tapping in with my boy Jack Cowboy Stice, man. What's good? Hey, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm be honest, man. I'm awesome every day. No complaints, man. Even when I'm going through some trial and tribulation, man, I wake up, I'm smiling, I lift myself up, man, and it's a mentality, man. I've been practicing probably well over 10 years, a little bit over 10 years, man. Awesome every day. What about you?
I'm talking about. Man, the same, man. Pretty much, man. I like you said, I, I have grasped the concept of rolling with the punches, man. You know what I mean? Figuring out how I can roll with the punches of life. You know, take the good days with the good days, the bad days with the bad days, man.
Well, you
That's
absolutely.
up.
Hey, that's what's up, man. I got a question before we get into the question of the day. I got a question, man. What's your thoughts on the New York Knicks and the Spurs?
The New York Knicks and the Spurs. Uh, my non-expert opinion is the Spurs are a young team. They're very young. They had the youngest starting lineup in NBA history. I think the average age was 21, 22 years old. The Knicks are young. I think the oldest probably guy on the Knicks team is Karl Anthony Towns, right? Veteran guy. All the other guys are probably fifth, 6 year guys, probably, anywhere from 3 to 5 to 6 year guys. So both teams are kind of young, but the Knicks are a little bit more experienced because they've been together a little bit longer. And the Knicks were in the conference finals, I think 2 seasons ago. I think was it last year? Did the Knicks play Indiana Pacers last year, right?
Not sure. I can't
In
remember
the
right
con-
now.
so the Knicks, I think the Knicks was in the Eastern Conference final last year. So and they've been together a little bit longer. My motto, bro. Two in a possible. You know how we go, bro. You gotta have two in a possible. You know what I mean? Two main players and a possible third X factor got to step up. You know what I'm saying? Plus your role players, right? Plus you got to be together. For me, I'm saying anywhere from 3 to 5 years, you got to be together as a core team, especially when you're going late into the finals. Spurs, it's their first. Nah, somebody else. Hey, what's going on? All right. Yeah, the Spurs. This their first time going to the playoffs, making it with this young team, young core team, up and coming team, going to the finals. Now OKC pushed them to, which was the defending champs, which was the number one team in the league and in the West Conference. They pushed them to a game 7, and fatigue, my opinion, fatigue kicks in. Right, I think fatigue kicked in with the Cavaliers too because they never went that far deep in the playoffs versus their first full time all players playing together. That's key. You got to have all your roster main guys playing for me to consider it full that y'all played a full season together. So the Knicks out of the two have played a full season together, multiple seasons together with the addition of a couple of players and a new coach, Mike Brown, what brings in a better defensive perspective, and they playing better defense. So the Knicks got the nod. They 2-0. Game 3 is tomorrow in New York. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking the Spurs. I ain't had a couple of days off. They maybe can get back in rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Had a little break because they just came off of game 7. You know what I'm saying? And so maybe they can get this game 3. You know what I mean? And get the energy back. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about mentality, keeping and trying to be consistent. So you know what I mean? We'll see.
Oh, that's what's up, man. We already know, man. That's what's up, man. Thanks for giving me that rundown, your opinion. Well, we go to question of the day, man. And I want anybody that's watching or anybody watching in the future, man. Do you think whether or not Uh, Carmelo Anthony, the young guy, defended himself or not? You know what I'm saying? That's the question of the day. And based off no emotions, put your emotions and your feelings to the side. And I want to hear your opinion on that. Unbiased.
My unbiased opinion, if I'm looking at the different laws and statutes and codes in the state of Texas, by the law in the state of Texas, you have a right to defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? Um, from the stuff I've been hearing, it's been the consistent thing I've been hearing is that the two twin brothers, the Austin Metcalf and the Hunter Metcalf, they were they initiated the confrontation or started from verbal and it went to physical. They initiated the physical combat. And the brother Karmelo Anthony was sitting down minding his own business. And no matter if he was in the wrong seat, they claim, or he was in the wrong area or not, we are human beings. Nobody has the authority to tell someone, especially another student, another 16, 17-year-old is telling another 17-year-old what that, oh, you can't be in this area. That's a little bit ego. It's a little bit um uh, narcissistic to think that we are peers. It's a possibility that Carmelo might have been a year older than him. I don't know. I think he was a senior. They both might have been seniors, but then for one party to tell the other party and y'all peers that you can't be in this area, and for you not to be in this area, and if you don't move, I'm gonna move you. You know what I'm saying? For lack of better words, and then you actually act on your actions and your emotion, because that was an emotional moment. Because the cooler head should have prevailed, but like you said, we're here now, and yes, with all the information. I don't need to see no video. I don't need to see nothing else. I'm just listening to the core conversation and the core gist of the whole situation. Still stands that the Metcalf twins initiated the contact and got very physical with the young man. They were two bigger guys. They played, bigger football players compared to the smaller football player slash track player, being aggressive, trying to be intimidating, aggressive, and it didn't work. It worked up until it didn't work. So the young man pulled out allegedly pocket knife and he ended up stabbing the guy in the chest. You know what I'm saying, to get him up off of him, and it did get him up off of him for him to able to break and run to the coach and get a which they should have. Let me add this: they should have went and got a coach or an adult in that situation. If anything looked like it was getting a little bit too escalating too far, the cooler head should have prevailed. Somebody should have went and got adults. Critical thinking skills and conflict resolution should have kicked in. But these are the things we need to start back teaching some of the young adults, man, because these are young guys, man. They this happened with April 2nd, 2025. Now we here June, going into June 2026. I'm here with the trial, and these guys are a year older now. You know what I'm saying? The young man ended up losing his life, succumbing to the injuries. And my perspective, it definitely was a tragic situation, man. And we all should be looking at this and really examining it and doing a case study on this and teaching ourselves. The number one thing is keep your hands to yourself. Number two, choose your friends, young men and women. Choose your friends wisely, right? You don't want nobody out here running with you that's a hothead, that's antagonizing you to do um, um, unsavory things that could put you, your friends, and other people in harm's way and danger, bro. You know what I mean? Because um, as human beings, we have a right to defend ourselves. And like you said, we also, by us defending ourselves, don't mean there's not consequences to us defending ourselves or our actions. So there are consequences to your actions. And I'm not nobody saying that there should be no consequences, but I'm saying, as of the information I've heard so far, self-defense was clear to me. Now, I'm not a jury, I'm not a judge. You know what I mean?
Man. Yeah, same here too, man. First and foremost, I want to send my condolences, man, and yeah, my heart prayers to the family, man. Both families. One lost a family member, a young man by the name of Austin Metcalf, and the other one right now who's fighting for his freedom, which is Carmelo Anthony, man. And it's a lot of teachable moments we can take, even now and even going forward, even after the result of the trial. and by me following or whatever, when I take my emotions and feelings out, which I always do with everything now, I'm gonna follow it to the end. Uh, I see a lot of propaganda, a lot of bad journalism out there, a lot of twisting and turning facts and people personal opinion on it. And I'm not. I see self defense, man. I really do it by law. It hurts the family, or whatever, whatnot. But can't nobody stray me away or make me think any different. But like again, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a judge. I'm not a jury who's gonna be on here actually looking at everything. But me listening on the outside looking in, young men going forward all across the world, even older men, keep your hands to yourself. You got to. It ain't worth it, man. We life too short to find yourself in some of these situations, man. Where we at now? Unfortunately, a young man lost his life, man. Defend himself, and you can't convince me that he was provocative or he provoked. He didn't provoke nobody to come mess with him. If you minding your business, somebody approached me. If I'm minding my business, somebody approached me. How could I provoke them?
Yeah, that's a
Nah,
fact, man.
nah. It just ain't. It ain't realistic. It's a lie. It's made up. It's just twisting scenarios, and it ain't factual, man. OIP to the young men, and hope the world can learn from it, man.
Definitely that, man. I mean, definitely, man. This is another one of those situations, man. When you see it's multiple people that lose out in this situation, man. You know, because even you got to think about the people that stepped up. They got on the stand and testified, man, and told their side of the thing. You know, some of it was looking a little, shaky, but that's still, for being a young person to have to get on the stand and testify for something that was a traumatic event that happened. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That definitely. I don't know. How uh, emotional support they got. I mean, they got a lot of emotional support. There was a lot of emotions from what I'm heard in the court. Just to have the relive some of the audio and some of the videos, the visuals. You know what I mean? And some of the details to the outcome, the final outcome of this situation. Man, we gotta definitely send a condolence to you know the family, man. But we gotta instill like where we gotta have the conversation, man. I know a lot of emotions in here. We gotta have the conversation of who had the cooler head, who was out of the group, out of the bunch, who was saying, "No, man, you gotta future hit yourself, man. Just sit down. We chill out, man. It's in the rain. We chill out. We don't need this. We just back off. We cool. You know what I'm saying? Sit down and chill out, man. Who in the group, out of that group of those young men, said, hey, you know what? Chill out, man. Y'all went too far. Y'all joning on each other. Joking on each other. You know, just sit down and chill out. It's a rainy day. You know what I'm saying? We got a future ahead of ourselves. We don't need nothing like this to jeopardize our potential, future. You know, I know,
You have
I know people. You know what I mean? I know people was trying to blame one side. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much the Carmelo side, and trying to put all the pressure on him as 17-year-old, but they're not um, unbiasedly talking about it. All the parties that were involved. You know what I mean? You know, all the parties
yeah,
that was involved. You know what I mean? Has to be held accountable. In my opinion, they should be held accountable because in certain states, I don't know about Texas, I have to look it up. If you're in the act of committing a crime, man, and these are teachable moments. Reason why we have this conversation, because these are teachable moments that should be studied, and people should be teaching the young people and teaching each other. Hey, how do I react to a certain situation when I'm out in public? You know what I mean? People keep talking about being at school, being on school grounds and all that stuff. You're still in the public. You're not inside your home. So anything you outside your home, you're in the public. You're in the public, you know what I mean? Setting. So you have to be able to conduct yourself and be conscious and aware of your surroundings of the people that you're around and the people that's around you in the areas that you go in. This is for all parties, young people, middle age, older people, because this is just not a common thing with just young folks. We got older people, as we know, Stice, go to these football games, these professional football games where these grown folks are getting drunk, getting intoxicated, fans and stuff, fighting and pushing each other. Here in Dallas a couple years ago with the Chicago Bears. I know you heard when they came and visited the Dallas Cowboys. These are grown folks. Somebody got, what I'm saying, pushed over the thing and end up dying. A Chicago Bear fan, if I'm not mistaken. So we can't just make this just a so-called race thing. We can't just make it, oh, it's just a young people. They need to be this and need to be that. No, you got old grown fools at these sporting events that get irate and don't know how to calm themselves down. We get a little, hey, we all get a little adrenaline and get a little pumped in our brains, and we get a little chest get poked out. But you got to know how to bring that back down. You know what I mean? In my opinion.
Yeah, you got to be able to conduct yourself, man, like a young adult, responsible, man, and most importantly, man, behave like you got something to lose. You want to go home the same way you came out. That's a lot. No injury. You don't want to go in. Next thing you know, you're fighting for your freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Somebody say black slave.
These
What
are
did they say that? Black who? Somebody say black
yeah,
slave. What they say?
there might be bots or something. They say black slavers, and then some say high fools, good boy. I look at some of these comments right here. They don't look legit. They don't look legitimate.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't even
Yeah.
understand him because we can ask them to comment on the question. Y'all see that question up there? Did Carmelo Anthony defend himself or did he not? Respond to that. Then I know if they're real. Or not. Respond to that respectively with your emotions and your feelings aside. I see them doing that, then I might believe that they real.
No, they yeah, they don't, yeah, that's probably some bots, man, like you said. So
Yeah, I
because
don't
they
even
ain't
know how
said nothing
YouTube can
since
get.
that.
Yeah, they don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that stuff don't even make sense. But yeah, man, I hope we can learn from this, man. We learn from it one day because I'm seeing that the trial outside of the court, you got white folk, you got black folk, and they at odds. It's all emotional. You know what I'm saying? It's all they shoot below the belt, and they they conducting themselves irresponsibly, man. They gotta hold them emotions in, man. They really do. Since every time it's black and white folk, it's gonna be a racial divide. It is what it is. Not with me, cause I believe it stands your ground for all folk. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Stands your ground.
Yeah, let me
I
ask you
don't
a
like how
question,
that.
then, bro.
Oh yes, sir.
What do you think about the jury? Do you think the judge should have sequestered the jury?
Man, that's a great question, man. I can't say what that judge what should have done. I don't know what rights and what power a judge have, but using my common sense, I know for a fact if I'm a judge, when I look at that jury, them are not people of his peers, and I don't believe you can have a fair trial with that jury for that
Mm.
young man. History,
Mm.
history shows it. You can get lucky sometimes. You can actually get lucky sometimes, and people do the right thing. But man, I'm not confident in that jury. And if I was a judge in that position, I wouldn't be confident that he would have a fair trial.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that'd be my. It's gonna be hard to have a fair trial. I don't really care about what's going on outside, with the media, with false narratives and all that. But inside of that courtroom, when the jury look at the evidence, they hear the laws, they gotta base it on what he being charged with, and it's gonna be some people that might have their mind already made up just because it's a black and white thing.
Right. Why do you think some people agree with standing your ground, um, and being able to have to defend yourself, right? Why do you think people believe in stand your ground and self-defense, um, in one situation, but not in another situation? What do you think was up with
Oh, that's a great question, man. That's just being biased. And then sometimes, man, it's okay. Right now I can say, man, I believe in stand your ground. Then check this out. It might be somebody in my family that I love, right?
that?
That I love, and I know it's a good person, but he do something. He put himself in position to get his life taken. And if I'm emotional, I'm gonna want justice. I'm gonna be like, I might feel like, uh, man, that's he a good person. He didn't have to do that to my cousin. And now I'm on the end of not believing in it. If I'm emotional, so it's a lot of different reasons why. Emotions. I say emotions, man. Selective.
Emotion.
Hey,
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I
Emotions.
believe
Yeah.
you should be able to stand your ground. You should be able to protect yourself. I'm not. If you ever hear about me being on offense, that's a lie. I'm not an offensive player, man. I'm a defensive player. I'm not provoking nobody. I'm not sucker punching nobody. I'm not shooting at nobody. I'm not mouth boxing with nobody. And mouth boxing ain't for me, man. I stay away from it. So, man, if I'm involved in something, I was at right because I'm defending myself. I'm a defensive player.
Hey, exactly. What do you think about people that said, "Well, Carmelo Anthony should have got up. He should have just ran." For the ones that said, "Well, he should have just ran. Why didn't he just run?"
What if he could? You in a moment, man. You in a moment, man, when there's multiple guys in front of you, they are threats. These young men are football players, man, and they nice sized players, and they can they can physically unalive a grown man. Them two young men are they more than capable of unaliving somebody, man. So I can't tell that man how to fear for his life. One of them guys alone can make you as a grown man can make you feel like this guy might be a threat to me. Just one young man alone. So I can't tell him how to feel. I can't tell him, Carmelo, not to do this and not to feel that way, man. They ain't gonna do nothing to you. Now, if a scared man would defend himself, man. A scared man would defend himself, and that's a kid. So a scared kid would defend himself well.
Exactly. And nine out of ten, when because we can talk about bullying. Nine out of ten, when someone is getting bullied, I'm saying, um, and out of fear and just out of self-preservation, the heat of the moment, you know you react out of heat of the moment to try to get yourself the best way you thinking to get yourself out of that situation. You know what I'm saying? You're not thinking about, what I'm saying? Because if you telling first of all, if you're telling someone, hey, to bag up, don't touch me, and then they touch you, it's like obviously don't, and then they keep grabbing you and doing what they're trying to do, put you in a certain position and impede your forward progress, and what I'm saying, stepping on your shoe and doing all type of little tactics to keep you from getting yourself positioned properly. You know what I'm saying? So they can have the advantage over you. Obviously, that's a person that has no stopping power. So I'm like you. I mean, in my mind, in a situation like I'm not thinking that this person is a innocent person. I'm not thinking this person is in their right mind. You know what I mean? You want to give me a command, and I give you a command. You moving on your command. So like, you know what I mean? And as a
Yes,
matter of fact,
sir.
you're closing the distance. I'm telling you to step back. You steady closing the distance on me. You know what I mean? Obviously, you don't have any stopping power. You know, you're out of your mind. You don't have any stopping power for you to keep impeding somebody's personal space to the fact that you are now in that space where you're putting your physical touching them, right? After the person that had warned you not to touch them. Like, how's people overlooking that?
Yeah.
Once again, it's the outcome was fatal and tragic. And
Horrible.
I have to say, that these are the possible outcomes of your actions on all parties. You know what I mean? It's empathy and sympathy on my side for all parties, but I also got to be realistic, and say that we can honestly say that those young boys' actions caused the young man to, not be here, man. If he just would have just said, hey, okay, cool, and sat down and chilled out, who knows? We never would have known that Carmelo had a knife. We never would have known that this young man got stabbed and end up, succumbing, losing and succumbing, to the injuries. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We wouldn't be here today. You know what I mean? Who knows? You know?
yeah, you absolutely right, man. If you don't approach him nine times, probably 10 times out of 10, you will still be here today. You don't approach him with that energy. If you don't, and then alone, you become a threat. You became a threat once you approach with that type of energy. You don't even have to
Of
touch
course.
nobody. If I invade your space demanding something, like I'm authority, I'm already in violation. I'm already provoking you. You know what I mean? Like you don't like chill out, man. You got to chill out. Uh, like I say, I know it's gonna be a lot of emotions flaring, man. People want this outcome, people want that outcome. But if I gotta go by the law of the land, law of the state, as of right now, based off what I'm seeing, we ain't gonna get into all the details. He defended himself, man. It is what it is, man. He defended. I hate he had to do it like that. I hate he done it
Yeah.
like that, but that's self that's self defense to me, man. It is,
Yeah.
man. It's self defense to me. No matter how who gonna cry about it, I hate it. I hate it for the young man. I wish Austin Met could be here today, but he's not. But I wish Carmelo Anthony would have never stabbed him. But he defended himself
Hmm.
from right now. So it's gonna be hard to convince me he didn't. But I'm gonna keep on following. And as of right now, that's the only way I see it. That's the only way you look realistic to me. Uh, realistic, man.
Yeah, man. I just keep playing it back
Uh,
because, like I said, I'm always, like you said, thinking defensively when I'm in places. If I'm going somewhere in a public sitting like that, sitting in the beach stuff, I'm always trying to sit closer to the edge where I can, I don't want nobody squashing me in and being there. I understand how you sit in the bleachers, but then let's just have a little dialogue right there. We always went to high school. We all played certain sports in high school and went to different track meets and football. We pretty much we know how the arenas are set up, right? The bleachers are set up.
yeah,
You don't have that much room in the bleachers, especially when it started getting a lot of people sitting around you. That's why if you notice a lot of people they try to sit off to themselves. And from what we heard, even though Carmelo went over to the actual makes the temporary tent that was put up by the I think the Memorial, I think the name was Memorial High School, their tent that was over the people under not understand that it's like they put a makeshift tent over the bleachers. So these are public seating areas that they put a tent up, and it was not just the Metcalves and Carmelo. It was other people from what I'm hearing that was up under that tent too. Now I'm not saying they all was from the same school or they weren't from the same school, right? And from my information, he was sitting up a little bit. They were sitting down lower, close to the bottom. He was sitting up more to the top. You know what I'm saying? And kind of off to the side, like not really kind of under the motherfucker thing. He had already had, excuse my language, he had, from my information, what I'm hearing that, and it's a testimony that we can go back and look at from one of the witnesses that testified that was supposed to be his friend, but claimed he wasn't that they weren't that cool. But he then also admitted that yes, he came over and greeted me. The reason why he was over there in the tent in that area, that he kind of greeted me, and he was friendly. We was friendly. We joked. You know what I'm saying? Everything was cool. He went sat down with, and it was nothing. You know what I mean? Until the energy didn't shift and change until the twin brothers came and the friends that they brought with them. That's when the energy shifts and changed, man. So I mean, people have to look at that and really deeply look at that and think. You know, are we still cool
yeah,
with bullying? Because see, everybody's trying to overlook the fact that this is a clear form of bullying or attempt to bully. And you know, everybody don't respond well to bullying, man. So this is a lesson for all parties of all ages to, you know,
Yeah, that's correct. And if somebody intimidates somebody, you don't know how they're gonna respond. You don't know.
mhm.
Somebody intimidated. Somebody intimidate me. If I'm forced to defend myself, you don't know how I'm gonna defend myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's from a young person to an older person, man. Everybody ain't uh everybody ain't gonna defend themselves with just needs. You defend yourself by any means necessary. Somebody else help you. So yeah, man. Yeah, they gonna have to really look at it, man, and see what the young man did. If you approaching somebody, man, think you approaching somebody, man, that could be attempting bullying, but you ain't authorized, you ain't in no position of no authority to be approaching nobody, telling them what to do.
Yeah, also, yeah.
Like,
Also, man, you know, that's you're definitely right with this. Like, man, when it also comes to the knife, because I know a lot of people, I'm hearing people online and stuff, some people that was so-called in the courtroom and stuff, and they claim they waiting to see what the defense going to say, and if they're going to put Carmelo on the stand and take the stand, they want to hear it from his eyes and all this. And to me, I get it, but I don't think it's going to change people's opinion because if you haven't looked at the situation from this point and established the difference between self-defense, somebody's being aggressive, and somebody's being deliberately being antagonized and deliberately being provoked, right? That's the word that been used. This gonna be the word we're gonna be hearing through the media now. People gonna be regurgitating this word provoked and
yeah,
aggressor and all this. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the so-called knife or whatever the weapon that was used that they deeming as a weapon, right? In this situation, because it's such a tragic end to it, I think anything that Carmelo and anybody in the situation pulled out, people would have questioned, why did you have that? Why did you have that? You know what I'm saying? Because the severity of the ending part of this, the fatalness of the outcome of this incident, bro. You know what I mean? If he would have
yeah,
picked up a bottle and defended himself with a bottle, people still would have said, well, why did you pick a bottle up? If he would have used his cleats, people would have said, well, why did you use his cleats? And it still would have been the naysayer and said, well, why did you use this? Why did you use that? Why you just didn't, get up and leave? Why you just didn't? It's like, but why the other parties didn't just sit down and chill out? We can say a
that's
whole bunch of
correct.
whys. You know?
Yeah, why did they approach? Why did they ask him to leave? Why did they put hands on him? So it's a lot of whys to it. It's a lot of whys to it, man. Well, brother Shaq, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. Brother from another mother, man. As always, peace, salute, man. And shout out to social media before we get up out of here, man. And we gonna ride out on that note, man.
Man, no doubt, no doubt, man. Salute to you, man. You can check me out, Shaq Waller on YouTube. Go subscribe, man. Get my subscribers up so I can do this thing more often too, man. Get up there with my boy Stice, so I can get my numbers up on YouTube. And also check me out on Instagram. I think it's Shaq Waller on Instagram. My handle, I think, CHAQWEILER. And I think it's Shaq Edwards on Facebook, CHAQ. Last name is EDWARDS on Facebook. But tap in with me on Instagram, Facebook. Get them numbers up so I can continue to go live. We're gonna give you some of these commentaries, man, and bring in other situations too, coming, from our perspective, man. Peace.
Oh yeah, man. Salute, man. Just follow me. I'm on the Grind It Up podcast. If y'all can like, share, subscribe, get my numbers up too. My building grow so I can continue to go live and continue to put out content, original, whatnot. So man, salute to everybody, even the bots that chimed in today, man. Thumbs up, peace, salute, man. I holla at y'all.